Welcome back to Market on Close. I'm Oliver Rennick. Let's talk commodity moves on another down dollar day. Depends on where you go. Gold under pressure, but crude is ripping. Scott Bauer is the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, let's start with gold as we break down. You've been here looking for a bounce. It isn't here yet. So how are you managing the trades? Walk me through it, Scott.
No, we didn't get a bounce, and I'm out. That's why you put in trades that have limits to them and trades that are completely risk defined. You know, the trade worked for a long time, and it has broken through some serious support right now. So I'm out. And in this area right here, what do? You know what? It's in no man's land. And if we get this continuation to the downside here, you can see gold trading around 17 and a quarter or so.
I love that, Scott. I love it, Scott, because, you know, there's guys that'll come on here, the gold bugs, and they're going to look at that chart and tell me everything's fine. But you're not. You're just a trader who's adapting to the situation at hand. All right, so you missed the bounce. Big deal. You live to fight another day and see where the trend goes. So I like the point here about 1725, the potential support, 18, maybe also 1800, below here a little bit. I mean, the fact you described as no man's land, I think is good too. I mean, what do you look for next to see? Because what's important here is you're not saying, look, I want to buy this drop too, bet on a sudden rip. You're not basically assuming the same regime anymore.
No, listen, if you're going to be a trader, you have to be able to, number one, put ego aside, admit when something doesn't work. And number two, once technicals start to break down, as they've certainly been doing now, you have to reevaluate. You can't just be stuck in the mud with a continued supposition or a continued trend. Things change, Oliver. And my thesis, my outlook, which I have been a gold bug. I have been a bull in gold for the last 9 months or so. It has now changed. My trades have worked for a long time. It didn't right now, and I'm out, and I'm kind of reconsidering what is going on now, because like I said, we're in no man's land right now. I don't want to trade it when it's in no man's land. I don't want to just flip a coin. That's just not the right thing to do.
I like that. And those curious can go back and watch the tape as you guys cut them every day on your Twitter feed. You've been on the right place for gold all the way up until this last one. So you've got a nice regime that you've traded it through. So Scott, what do you look for then in terms of positioning if you are bearish or if you're someone who's been waiting? Because you basically don't have a strong fundamental belief.
Correct.
If somebody does, which many people do, right? They believe they have a fundamental understanding of why something should do something. If you believe that gold should be dropping here because of whatever reason, maybe we're not getting the big stimulus because of vaccines are coming. Maybe the presidential blow up and chaos is never going to manifest and we'll just peacefully transition. Whatever it may be, if you have a bearish view on gold, what do you look for, Scott, to start putting on a bearish trade? What might you look for and how would you structure it going forward?
So let me just say right now, I'm not necessarily bearish, but I'm certainly not bullish any longer.
When would you turn bearish is a better way to phrase it.
If we broke below 1800, which is really just the psychological number, but then on any sort of rally, if the rallies get fraught with selling, that's when I would start to be bearish here. And I don't mind if I miss the next 20 to 25 points to the downside, if the technicals and the fundamentals start to show me that. But if that's what I'm looking for, I'm an option trader. I'm an equity option trader. So I love trading in GLD, GDX, some of the other ETFs that are out there. And what I would look to do is see if we get a nice volatility pop, an option volatility pop. And if we do, I'd probably start selling some call spreads that have some real significant premium to them, as opposed to buying put spreads if the volatility gets too high.
Okay, got it. Scott, like that, a nice heads up. I'm taking notes here. On the next topic, though, I want to hit on the other commodity front. Crude's way on the opposite end.
Yep.
So in terms of the dollar roll, it's clearly not doing anything for gold. Maybe it's playing a role in crude, but it seems like crude is more just kind of having this massive kind of exhaustion of bears or something. Like we've finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we can give crude the all clear.
So it seems like for years, I mean, you can go back a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, the energy trade in general has just been in the, a dog, right? well, maybe this is a little bit of catch up. I'm not saying that we've broken out at all, but if you look at energy across the board, whether it's crude, XLE, some of the individual refiners, you're seeing some massive gains right now. There's one in particular that I think still has more room to go than others, and that's an old steady Exxon. And the reason I say that, and that's XOM, is because if you look at some of its counterparts, ConocoPhillips, EOG, Chevron, these stocks have all rallied up and above their 200-day moving averages. Very technical, big resistance there. Exxon's not quite there yet. It's pushing on the door, but it's not quite there yet. So I think Exxon actually has some further room to make up against, other stocks in their sector here. So I like buying a call, just a straight out call, which I typically don't do. I typically trade spreads. I like buying a Jan 45 call in Exxon for about $1.20 here. Listen, if it turns around, I can always sell the option out. But I think this one, does have an opportunity to rip even higher. If you can use the adjective rip for a stock like Exxon.
Right. It's been a long time. And it'd be quite a scene if it came back. Scott, great stuff. Really like the trading. We got a good thing going on here, checking in on the trades and understanding the mindset of an agnostic trader, follows what the market tells him. Good stuff. Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy.